Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to a standalone answer and question video. This comes from Chap Liquid who asks, where did you learn how to read charts? Was it a book, a video, or someone? Okay, now before we get into the answer to this question, I just want to give a bit of a brief background to how I first started investing and why I wanted to delve a little bit more deeper into technical analysis and how to read charts. Now, when I first started investing, well over 15 years ago, I would have been considered a fundamental investor, which means I tend to focus completely on the fundamentals of a company. So financial performance, maybe management, moat, all those really important things that actually do matter over the long term. So if you're trying to determine whether a company is high quality or not, those are the sort of things you will focus on. And I tended to ignore charts for most of the time. And if I did have a look at the chart, it would have been a line chart just like this. This is your odds, a weekly chart going back to 2017. So a line chart is probably the most popular sort of chart that non-technical analysis people would look at, I am assuming, just because that is what I was like back then. Now, fortunately, I am highly acquisitive, quite curious, and the more I looked at charts, the more I started to see patterns on occasion. Now, because I was a fundamental analysis or fundamental person, I believe that the share price of a company will move over the long term with the financial performance. Now, I mean in the long term, not in the short term. So in the next, say, 1 month, 6 months, or 1 year, the share price of a company might move up or down significantly, but more than likely that's going to be driven by noise, not the financial performance. But once you go to 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it's a financial performance that's more important. But even though I still believe that, you can see patterns, lots and lots of patterns when you look at charts. So eventually, after about 3 or 4 years of just focusing on fundamentals, I tipped my toes into technical analysis just because I was interested to see if it worked. Now, there's a lot of experts out there who say it doesn't work, and I think that's because they haven't dipped their toes into the waters of technical analysis, because in my opinion, it does work. Okay, so I tipped my toes about, I think it would have been about 2013, 2014. The more and more I looked at charts, the more I saw patterns, that sort of thing. And I just wanted to see if there was any validity to technical analysis. Now, the first books I bought were from Louise Bedford, who is an Australian. She also has a podcast. On occasion, I will listen to her podcast. Her podcast, by the way, for those who, I've got it here on my phone. I bet I can't find it now. It's called Talking Trading, Expert Trading, something else. Expert Trading Tactics so you can excel in the markets. There's about a podcast a week, which is sort of seems like that's the common time frame or common tendency to release videos on a weekly basis. Anyway, so I bought 3 Louise Bedford books. I think I bought 2 initially, then another one later on. And the 2 books I bought initially were called Trading Secrets, and this is it, Trading Secrets, and the other one was Charting Secrets. This is from Amazon. You could buy these books right now if you want. Probably, I think I bought them in paperback. Right now, they are in storage. They are in storage right now, but these are the first books I looked at. Booktopia, still around. There you go. Anyway, I also bought eventually, I'm not sure the time frame here, how long into the process, but eventually I did buy Louise Bedford's The Secret of Candlestick Charting. Now, it was because of Louise Bedford that I became way more familiar with candlesticks. Now, that's when I went, if we go back to the chart, I went from using lines, and to be honest with you, you get way more out of a candlestick than a line chart. So I get way more information out of this chart than you do from a line chart. Now, there's other sort of things you can use, which I don't know much about. For instance, what's it called? I forget what it's called. The range one, this one. I see a lot of experts use these, but I do prefer candlesticks. Oh, bars. That's what they use. Bars. Yeah, they use bars. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of the experts use bars, like they use this on trading wealth, that sort of thing. But for me, I do prefer candlesticks, and maybe I prefer candlesticks because this is the first thing I really learned about from Louise Bedford. And then I just started buying more and more books, more and more books. And what I'm going to do now is go through, in fact, I did bring some books with me, and I'll show you those books when we get to the end of the video. But if we go to like Investopedia, top 7 books to learn technical analysis. And I'll go through which books I have actually read and which books I have not. So Getting Started in Technical Analysis by Jack D. Schwager. I've not read that. Maybe that would have been a good book to start off with. Technical Analysis Explained by Martin J. Pring. Well, funnily enough, I've got that book with me right now. Here it is. It's a big one. It is a big one. It's hardback, this one. It's almost 800 pages long. I've gone actually halfway through this book. There you go, halfway through that book. I probably would, I don't know. So I'm not sure what order you should read these books, but Louise Bedford's books were actually a pretty good start for me. Maybe even Getting Started in Technical Analysis would be a good start. Technical Analysis Explained could be a good start. Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy. I did buy that one about 2 years ago, and it was stolen by some people that were helping me with the house. I said, can you bring that back? Not a word from him since. I'm a little bit disappointed, a little bit upset with that. So Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, a pretty good book as well. Went through that. How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. Yes, I've been through this about 2 or 3 times. I think this is the one where he starts off with, I could be wrong. I think this is the one where you start off with looking at about 100 historical charts of companies in the past, just to look at patterns, just looking to see what patterns work, that sort of thing. I'm pretty sure it was this book. So How to Make Money in Stocks. I like that one, good. A Winning System in Good Times or Bad. Japanese Candlestick Charting Technique by Steve Nyssen. Not read this one, so maybe that should be on my watch list. Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Thomas Bolkowski. Oh, yes, I do have this one as well. Technical Analysis Using Multiple Timeframes by Brian Shannon. Funny enough, look what I got here. You probably can't see it because, yeah, here it is, the same book. In fact, I haven't started reading this yet. This is why I brought it with me, so I can go through it. So Technical Analysis Using Multiple Time Frames. What else? And that's it. So, in fact, I've read a lot of those. And there's quite a few other books, technical analysis books, that I think are pretty good. Now, this particular site, excuse me, read this twice. Best technical analysis books. Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques by Nyssen. There's Murphy, Swager. So we've got all fairly similar books here. In fact, they're all almost all similar. Here's a different one. Market Wizards from Jack D. Schwager. Interviews with Top Traders. Have not read that. It's from 1993, first published 1989. There it is, the Brian Shannon Using Multiple Timeframes. Technical Analysis of Stock Trends. This, some people might consider this to be the Bible. This is a pretty old book, first published in 1948 by Edwards, McGee, and Bassetti. In fact, I do have this book, and that is actually the cover I have. Technical Analysis for Dummies, have no interest in that. The Art and Science of Technical Analysis, have not read that. That's Adam Grimes, 2012. Technical Analysis from A to Z. Another one from Martin G. Pring. Elliott Wave Principle, that might be a good read. A Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis from 2013. Well, lo and behold, here it is, another one. Now, the reason I bought this was volume. I think volume is very important. Trading in the Zone. Go through this fairly quickly now. Technical Analysis from Charles Fitzpatrick and Dalquist from 2006. And I'm trying to see if I can find any more they've actually read and looked at. Yeah, so now we're getting to more obscure books. And cloud charts. I don't know anything. Oh, cloud charts. There's another one I read when I first started was from Guppy. I'll have a look. Mr. Darryl Guppy wrote a book, and I really liked that. Really liked that. Actually did influence me a lot, using multiple moving averages. This is one of the reasons why I started using multiple averages, moving averages, I mean, multiple moving averages. And I'm trying to remember which book it was. Yeah, it was this one, Guppy Trading. So this is one of the first books I did read, Guppy Trading by Darryl Guppy. Guppy. Essential Methods. Oh, you can actually read the whole thing. Oh, I did not know that. You could actually read the whole thing right now. I don't know how I found this. Google Books. There you go. So that's Guppy Trading. I have not got that with me now. And, oh, by the way, here is Technical Analysis of Stock Trends right there. I have it right with me right there. And another one I haven't seen mentioned is Stan Weinstein's Secrets for Profiteering in Bull and Bear Markets. This is actually fairly old. You can probably see by his picture there. You can see it, fairly old. This is probably first published in the 1980s, I am assuming. Stan Weinstein. 1988, there you go. Well, this book was either published in 1988 or that was when it was first published, but all I see is one date, 1988. So a fairly old book there, but a goodie. Okay, so that is how I really started learning, is really books, only books, no videos, just books, and really not having any sort of mentor. But I do learn best from reading books and then doing it myself. Anyway, so hopefully that has answered your question. If you have any other thoughts, any questions, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for me. Have a good day. Bye.